So Root Riders are definitely a thing right now in Clash of Clans, and if you're like, I'm not sure how to use them, what attack to use, we are going to show you 5 different ways, 5 different types of attacks that you can use, and they range from easy to kind of difficult, depending on your skill ability. So let's get into those attacks to give you some options on how you can use Root Riders at Town Hall 16. So attack number 1 coming at us from Aaron is going to be the easiest version of Root Riders that you can use. This version of Root Riders works best whenever you can funnel with just a couple Root Riders on the outside. Send your Root Riders in just a mass glob in the middle and keep your heroes in directly behind that. You don't want to let your hero stray outside. Also, this type of attack works best on bases that do not have defenses on the outside. Because if there are defenses on the outside of the walls, then the Root Riders will break through the walls, which will actually cause your heroes to possibly go around the base, not through the base. Also, if you are using this method, make sure you have the Giant Gauntlet on the King. Use the Warden's ability first, then use the King ability, and you will watch your King be invincible as long as this bug is in. But attack number 1, Mass Root Rider, is definitely the easiest version on this attack, but also has to be used on the right type of base. Attack number 2 is also going to be Mass Root Riders, but if you look at a base and you see that you can take out the Inferno Towers and the scatter shots, and if the poison tower happens to be right there with all of those, then you can zap those out with 6 zaps and a quake. And then after you take those down, there's not much that can stop your Root Riders and witches. So mass witches or Witch Slap is going to be the easy method on this, and after you zap those defenses out, this essentially turns into a Town Hall 11 attack. Now, if you can get down those splash defenses in other ways other than zapping them out, then this attack may work as well, because the Root Riders stay out ahead of your witches. They're able to take everything down with those skeletons. You know, the skeletons are able to distract, but this is definitely an OP attack number 2 with Root Riders. If you look at the right base and that is something that you can use this on, definitely worth looking at, definitely worth using attack number 2 with Root Riders. So with attack number 3, we're stepping up the difficulty just a little bit because you have to recognize certain things whenever you're doing the attack. So Buckeye, whenever he did this attack, he noticed that he could zap out this X-Bow and this Archer Tower on this side of the Town Hall. That left it completely open to the Flame Flinger. And not only would that take down the Town Hall, but it would also start the funnel on this side of the base. On this side of the base, he's doing a Warden Walk, and the Warden's going to take out enough buildings to where whenever he sends in his Root Riders, he's able to send them directly up the middle. So I almost think of this more as like a Super Bowler attack, but a little bit easier than a Super Bowler attack, because the Super Bowlers are affected by walls, and of course we know that the Root Riders are not affected by walls. Now, one of the negatives about this is if you don't pull the CC, then everybody's putting in triple Golem CCs because they want to try to prevent this specific type of attack from happening. Now, we see it can work, but if there's any way that you can pull the CC out, kill it with, some type of Queen Charge, and then using Rage Barbarians as your backup cleanup troops, that's definitely something. This is something that definitely works. Has to work on the right type of base. You can use Zap, but use different ways to funnel. You can use a Flame Flinger, use a Warden Walk, but attack type number 3 of Root Riders, hopefully this is something that you can use. Let's look at attack number 4. Now, attack number 4 is definitely the most intricate of all 5 attacks, and I'll explain why I think attack number 5 is technically a little more difficult, but this is going to be Queen Charge Root Riders. Now, this is something that I'm actually using in Legend League right now, and the one thing that I'm finding is the Root Riders are really slow. So I'm almost compare this attack to Queen Charge or Warden Walk Super Witches at Town Hall 12 or Town Hall 13, where you have to make sure that you go by a certain time. And I love how he funnels the Queen into the Town Hall right here, uses an invis. I got to remember to do next level pro stuff like that. in order to be better at this game. That is, if I want to be better. But he's just queen charging into the town hall. Now, one thing that I've seen some players do and use to great effect is after the queen gets down the town hall, if the monolith is directly behind the town hall, or if the queen is immediately going to die, then they'll bring a recall spell and they'll recall the queen out of that dangerous situation and maybe put the queen in behind the root riders, similar to the last attack that we looked at. But in this attack, the king was actually used to funnel around. Now, you can use a variety of different siege machines to do this attack. In this one, we're using the stun siege machine. Totally forgot what it's called. It totally left my brain. You can also use a siege barracks, which is actually what was used in the very first attack. But this is a very effective use of root riders as well. But attack number 4, queen charge root riders. Maybe this is something when you look at the base that you can do as well. Let's look at attack number 5 and look at what I kind of consider to be not necessarily the most difficult, not necessarily the most intricate, but the most defended against attack with root riders. Now, this last attack is going to use the Sarch blimp. And I know all of us have been using Sarch blimps throughout Town Hall 15. So we're like, oh, you know, a Sarch blimp is easy. Well, the problem with the Sarch blimp is that lots of base builders defend against the Sarch blimp now because it was used so much at Town Hall 15. Now, the meta is going to change. Base building is going to change to where Sarch blimp bases are going to be open, or maybe it's going to be open to queen charge root riders, or maybe it's going to be open to the mash root riders and witch slap attack, because you're able to get down the splash defenses really easily. So I think reading the base is going to be really important. And obviously Cake looked at this base and he said this is perfect for a Sarch blimp, but there will be bases where that Sarch blimp entry is going to be baited with a tornado trap. So this is the most difficult attack, in that if the tornado trap is placed in the right place, is placed in the right location, then this can be extremely difficult. Now, once the Sarch blimp takes down, holy cow, 40% of the base, then you're just going to do just like a regular Raged Barbarian attack, but instead of your golem being out front, you're going to have your root riders out front. And also, you don't have to use super wall breakers like we did with the Sarch Raged Barbarian attack, because those root riders just eat and mow through the walls. And then, of course, you're going to use your Raged Barbarians to make sure that everything stays inside the base, which if there are closed walls like this, then that's not something that you really have to worry about. But Cakes takes this base down super easy. So 5 different attacks that you can use with root riders. Hopefully that was helpful. I know that I'm going to be looking at bases. I just got my root riders, so I'm going to be taking some time to practice with this. Another type of attack that I really think you'll see a lot of rise, a lot of use out of, is going to be different forms of Lalo, because I think base builders are going to adjust to the meta by switching over Inferno Towers to single, by spreading out the Inferno Towers with the Monolith, which again can be great for Lalo. So watch for that. Lalo may be something that we see being used a lot of, especially by the pros. But hopefully this video was helpful. Until the next video, I'm TipDog20. I'll see you then.